Hey everybody, it's Tuesday. Of course I'm running late because that's what I do. I'm up at 5:30. I don't have to leave my house till 7:30. That is 2 hours. My kids are out the house by 6:30. But what does she do? Unload and load dishwasher. Um, make the beds. You think anybody appreciate the beds being made? No, but I make all three beds. What else did I do? Put up Halloween decorations. My ADHD again. I didn't even have time to put on my contacts or brush my teeth. But guess what? I keep contacts at work and a toothbrush. So we're gonna do that right on their dime. And my tights are twisted. I'm gonna have to fix my tights there. I need them to see me in the door at 8 o'clock. And then I'll spend 15 minutes getting myself together. But y'all see me. I'm here. I want to talk about colorism, color, interracial marriage, interracial relationships real quick because two celebrity interracial relationships have dissolved. Three have dissolved within a short amount of time. First one was Jeezy and Jenny Mine. He's Black American. She's Vietnamese. I didn't do my research. She's slant-eyed Asian. She's not brown Asian. Next up we have Jodie Turner and her man from Dawson's Creek that I don't even remember his name. He played the friend. Y'all know him. She is dark and lovely, model-esque, and he is a mid-white man, average at best. And third, Tamar Braxton and her white prince came. So I was like, if I was to do celebrity divorces, I would have 3 a day. That is pretty common. But it's the interracial ones that I find to be dissolving very quickly. Tamar and her man, a year. Jenny Mine and Jeezy, 2 years. Jodie Turner and her man, 4 years. Very quick. The last interracial marriage that I saw dissolve was one of the twins and her man, Tia Mari and her man. But they long time, 20 years they were together. And then, well, I say interracial. He's Black, but she's biracial. There's white in her. And her sister is married to a full white man. They're still going together. So I don't know, but to me, I felt like the interracials make it longer. But they also make it when they have, to me, a better established foundation. You got to get to know them, accept the culture, all of that before you get married. And I feel when you are in the same race relationship, you don't put that effort in because there is a silent assumption that the same skin folk equal kinfolk. You know what I mean? Like, oh, this a Black man. He know the Black struggle. We don't have to do that. But in all actuality, there's a difference between niggas and Black people. And for my non-Blacks who don't understand, we in the Black community definitely have a separation between niggas and Black folk. I'm going to give you an example. Black folk would be the family in the Cosbys. Those are Black people. Niggas is Krishan Rock and Blueface. You get me? Black folk is Barack and Michelle. Niggas, totally different, right? Sorry, guys. I don't know. It has been oddly warm. 77 yesterday, 80 something today. Well, when I was driving, it was 80 something in my car. And shit has bloomed out of nowhere. Okay? And my allergies, I'm feeling it, right? So, difference between Black folks and niggas, right? DMX, nigga, right? sorry. Here is now, can you come out of your niggerism? Absolutely. Case in point, Method Man. Once nigga, right? Or the personification of Method Man, not the person, the personification of the character that is Method Man. Nigga. Today, black man. Fine black man. Okay, actor. Sorry. Stood by his wife during cancer. I ain't never heard about no public cheating scandals. Method Man's persona is now black man. Ice Cube. The personification, the character, the cosplay, if you might call it, of Ice Cube was once nigga. Now black man. So yes, you can come out of your niggerism and you could regress. Case in point, Bobby Brown and Whitney Houston. Black people. Those were black people. That TV show and towards the end, niggas. Now that we got that out the way, talk about the interracials, right? So I found it kind of fascinating because, and I'm going to specifically talk on Jodie Turner because she publicly, and people are getting on her for this, but I love someone who speaks their truth. And that is her truth. And I'm going to explain what she said that got people's panties twisted up in a bunch. She said that she's always had an issue with her color based on outside influences and what she was been told and the bullying. She's always had an issue with her color. She continues to have an issue with her color, and her having a light-skinned biracial child because her husband is white is helping to alleviate the issues that she has that stem from her color, because she knows her daughter won't have to go through what she went through. And people are tearing her up. And I said, what, where is she wrong? Now, she didn't come out and say this, but I, as a black woman who knows about colorism and has seen it, and although I've never been a victim of colorism, I have seen it on other women. I have been around it. Case in point, you pretty for a black girl. Same as when they say you're pretty for a fat girl. Where is she wrong? Now, I think she went out and practiced eugenics and purposefully got a white man so she could have a biracial daughter. I believe that, although she's never said that. But to me, where's the wrong? Where's the wrong? We're going to act like her pain isn't real. We're going to act like what she went through is not a thing and it's a manifestation in her own head and nobody did that to her. We're going to act like that doesn't happen. We're going to act like people who see her overly compliment her on how beautiful she is because she's dark skinned. We're going to act like that doesn't happen, and we're going to act like that's not a thing either, because that could be traumatic too. Because I have seen unattractive, light-skinned people get called attractive, and I believe they're only called attractive because they're light-skinned. And I have seen unattractive black people be called attractive because they're dark-skinned. Tyrese, to me, is not attractive. His body is fine. I don't find his features attractive. I find Idris Elba attractive, and aren't they the same color? Tyrese, to me, is not attractive. People constantly talk about how fine and how handsome he is. I don't see it. People say Shamar Moore is attractive. I don't see it. I don't find him attractive at all. I don't find Drake attractive. I don't find him attractive. However, before the drugs, to me, Chris Brown, I found attractive. Jodie Turner, I find attractive. Even if she was a different color, her features are as such. She has striking features. And if you had a way to lighten her skin or darken her skin, to me, she would still be attractive. But I think people, the first thing they see is, and what they say is, she's a beautiful dark skinned woman. They say that. Nobody, I have not, and even I said that. We overcorrect because of history. We have to. I'm not saying the overcorrecting is wrong. We have to overcorrect because 20, 30, 15 years ago, it wasn't it to be dark skinned and a dark skinned woman. And it's still in our music. How many times you hear rappers talk about red bone? I got a red bone, shorty, red bone. That we still, there's still an issue with colorism. Fine. Where was she wrong by saying that her having a light-skinned daughter is helping her get over the damage of being a victim of colorism because she knows her daughter won't have to go through that? She's not wrong. She's not wrong. I said in another video before, do I have to worry about my son getting shot by the police because he's a threatening looking black man? No. No. Did I purposefully go out and pick a man so I could have a child that looked like that? No, because I have never been a victim of colorism. I think, been a victim of prejudice and bigotry. I wouldn't even say racism, but I know I've been passed over for mediocre whites, even recently, just because they're white. I've definitely, and I wouldn't call it racism, it's definitely prejudice. I think we use racism wrong. I think we use that word wrong. Prejudice and bigotry, yes, I've been a victim of even to this day. I know I've never been a victim of colorism because of my color. Never. So did I purposely go out and find a man so I could have white presenting children so they don't have to go through colorism? No, because I don't know what it feels like to be a victim of colorism. I know what it feels like to be like, you light-skinned bitch, and be hated on because I am light-skinned, but that's not colorism. Colorism is specific to being dark-skinned. There are other issues that you face when you are light-skinned, that light-skinned heifer, oh yes, from dark-skinned women. Oh yes, the hate. I've been attacked on the train, had my hair cut. Oh yeah. Yes, but not colorism. That's not colorism. So I didn't seek to have light-skinned children so they could have the complexion for protection. No. But I also am aware that I don't have to worry about that when my children and another woman has to worry about that with her children who have dark children. Does that make me better than her? Does that make my son better than her son and more worthy of having his life protected? No, but is that a reality? Absolutely. Same thing with Jodie Turner. Does she have to ever worry about her daughter, who is light-skinned, being a victim of colorism? No. And in turn, would that help her? So she says. We as mothers put our lives second to our children. You know, not all but some, right? Let's get that disclaimer out the way. I'm not talking about the outliers, but if there was an active shooter, would my children be behind me and I would take all the bullets to protect them? Yes, and I don't know any woman who's listening to me that wouldn't. So is Jodie now putting her daughter's well-being and life ahead of her own? Yes. Is that what she's supposed to do as a mother? I don't know what she's supposed to do, but that's what you do. And yes, it probably can heal her, the fact knowing that she doesn't have to worry about her daughter having to go through that agony and anguish, and maybe she can heal because now she doesn't have to have a trauma bond with her daughter. Unfortunately, her having a dark-skinned daughter, she might be a victim of colorism, and now Jody and her daughter have to trauma bond over their history of colorism. Is it so wrong for her to say that I'm glad that I don't have to worry about my daughter being subjective to another ism? What's wrong with that? There's nothing wrong with that. Now, is there something wrong with her purposely finding a white man and practicing eugenics that's best for her? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what would make me do something having gone through something like that. I don't know. But I can't call it wrong because I don't know how traumatic that is. She did what she did based on what happened to her. And people do that all the time. And it's going to go dark. But many, many women who have been sexually assaulted or raped by men early on in life don't fuck with men when they get older. They don't. They don't trust men. They don't want a man touching them. They don't like the smell of a man. And I know firsthand, not me, proximity to someone who as a child was molested, raped, sexually assaulted for years, full-blown lesbian, stud even, doing everything in her power to make herself unattractive and unappealing to men. And this went back to middle school. The only time we saw her femininely dressed was high school prom. And she went right back to masculine presenting. That was the most awkward prom pictures because she was drop dead gorgeous. We finally got to see her beauty because she masked it for so long and she got male attention and she was so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. We did senior cut day and went to the beach and she literally washed away that $100, $200, $300 hairdo in the water of Coney Island Beach. Please help me get it out. I remember taking pins out of her hair and she's just washing it out. And I said, that could last you for 2 weeks. She wanted it gone. That's how painful it was for her to even get the male gaze. Now, would she have been a lesbian if that didn't happen to her? Who knows? It happened to her. We will never know. But I'm not going to act like the essay, the sexual assault and the rape didn't have nothing to do with it. Same thing with Jody. Who knows if her blackness was celebrated and not tolerated and she wasn't a victim of colorism, would she have chosen a different partner and maybe had a child that looked exactly like her? We don't know. You know why we don't know? Because it happened to her. Getting off of that, let's talk about Tamar, her white king. She met him on a show called Queen's Court. If that man could have had any more red flags, I don't know. I was really rooting for her. I'm a big Tamar supporter. I think she could sing the house down. Quiet as it's kept. I think she's the best singer out of all of her sisters. As far as range, I believe she could sing in all 8 octaves. She's a singer. However, I think there's an issue when it comes to men and maybe what's attracted to her and maybe what she's attracted to. And we can't say that she goes for celebrity because both of these men, these last 2 men, the Nigerian and this white one, weren't in the industry. But I believe she's a target for clout chasers and men who will definitely use women as a come up. But anyway, he has 5 kids by 4 different women. Okay. She had an issue with the baby mama talking about how he's no longer spending time with the children. A public retort these 2 had. This man was littered in red flags. He proposed to her on the show. They did meet on the show, kind of like the Bachelorette kind of situation. Anyway, they're done. He puts out this thing that cheating didn't have nothing to do with it, and da 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 da. I understand the urgency to quickly speed up these relationships because she is a woman in her 40s. I understand it. I don't believe she wants any children, but I think relationships are sped up when you're after 40. We don't have time to do this. We're almost at the halfway point of our life. I get that and I accept that. However, I think it moved way too fast. They did meet on the show, so yeah, you're supposed to leave engaged, but I think they should have just used the engagement for show and went back to actual dating. I don't think they actually dated enough in your 40s. After 40, I think you need to date a year. When you're 25, 3 years. When you're 40, a year minimum. They didn't do any of that. They didn't do any of that, and I think that was the problem. I think he was littered in white flags, and quiet as it's kept, I think she saw him as a prize because he was white. It's something she's never been seen with. We're not going to act like there isn't a perception of of upping your class when you're with a white person. That is a thing. Anyway, what do you guys think about these quick dissolvements of interracial relationships? And let me know what you feel about Jodie Turner. Am I off? Am I wrong? Let me know. I welcome opposing views. Okay. Bye, everybody.